Good morning, I am Purnima and I am going to continue the lesson My Childhood, written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the 11th President of our country. Now, I already told you about Kalam, that he is the person that from children, he was living in a lower middle class family, was born, and he reached the height of Rashtrapati Bhavan. He was the 11th President of India. But in between his journey from the lower middle class family to Rashtrapati Bhavan, lot of obstacles were there on his way, and lot of hardship he had faced in his life. And children, we have learned a lot from him. He told us that if you are dedicated and determination is there with you in your work, nobody will stop you to rise to the zenith or the height. So he was the person, children. And there is a lot of book is also written by him, and if you will go through this book, children, you will find out those books are really very motivational, and the word he is used, he is written in such a wonderful ways. He is written that I think you should all read it, especially his autobiography Wings of Fire, because this chapter which we have taken is from his autobiography Wings of Fire. And children, there he has spoken of his childhood, that he had a nice parents. Okay, his parents were handsome, his father was tall and nice looking, mother was also good looking, but he was born with a short height and not with a nice face. Okay, then children, he had inherited a lot of children, what to say, lot of characteristic from his parents. Okay, like he had generosity he had inherited from his father, and his mother was very kind. She was of a very good and kind nature. So this he has inherited from her mother. Now, now children, all these things he had discussed in his autobiography, and I think I've taught you till paragraph 3rd we have finished yesterday. So we are continue with the rest of the story. In this story, it also told that his father has not provided him with all the luxuries and comforts. He has only given him some of the essential things or the basic needs of life. He has provided him, like food, clothing and medicine, and of course education. Okay, so and the parents were very hard working, and the best thing he liked about that his parents don't believe in casteism and all, being born in a Muslim family. Okay, and his mother used to tell him the story of Ramayana along with the story of Prophet Muhammad, and his father, during some Hindu festival, he used to carry the idol of Sri Ram in his boat. So his father never used to believe in casteism, and this again was seen in his blood, was there in his child APJ Abdul Kalam. He was a patriotic person, lot of love for India. He was known as Missile Man, very brilliant person, very extremely genius person. Okay, and then he had done a lot of project in space, defense and nuclear technology. Okay, and he became the 11th President of India in 2002. So he was having brothers and sister also, and all the brother and sister, they were very much affectionate, they loved each other. Now children, I am going to start with paragraph 4. I am going to start my teaching with paragraph 4. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics. Now children, he is telling that all the children are born with some inherited characteristic into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment. Okay, and children, social economic is the financial thing. Okay, and he was into a specific social economic and emotional environment. Children, the parents has provided him only the basic needs of life. No luxurious item, no extra money was given to the children. Okay, but there was a strong emotional support by the parents to the children. That was a great thing. And he was trained in certain ways by figure of authorities. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father. Now children, this is very important time. So children, the best thing he liked about his father was honesty and self-discipline. So this was inherited by APJ Abdul Kalam from his father. He was the epitome of self-discipline and honesty. So he had inherited this thing from his father. From my mother, I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness, and so did my 3 brothers and sisters. And what he had inherited from his mother, to have faith in goodness and deep kindness. And children, this was inherited by his 3 brothers and sister. Ramanatha Shastri, Arvindam, I had 3 close friends. Now children, he is telling about his friends, his 3 close friends of his childhood. And what were the name of these 3 friends? Ramanatha Shastri, Arvindam and Shiv Prakashan. So all the friends were Hindu. If you will see the names of these 3 friends, they were all Hindu. And these 3, they were the best friends. Now Ramanatha Shastri, Arvindam and Shiv Prakashan. All these boys were from the orthodox Hindu Brahmin family. Children, they were from the typical Brahmin family. As children, none of us ever felt any difference among ourselves because of our religion differences and upbringing. Now children, when they used to play, when they used to talk, when they used to study, when they used to be together, nobody had felt any differences due to casteism, due to religion and their upbringing. Okay, this never came in their friendship, that they were of different religion and their upbringing is of different kind. So this was a great thing. Okay, he did not realize all these things when these friends were together. In fact, Ramanatha Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. I think Rameshwaram temple is a very, very famous temple in Rameshwaram. Okay, and he was the main priest of that temple, Ramanatha Shastri. Okay, and he was the son of Mr. Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri. So he was the head priest of the temple of Rameshwaram. Such a high Brahmin family he belongs, his friend Ramanatha Shastri. But then also he never thought that he is a Muslim child and he should not play with him. This thing, the religion never came in their life or in between friendship. Children, when Ramanatha Shastri grew up, he became the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple. Okay, he had inherited that priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. And children, what did Arvindam became? Arvindam went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. Now children, Rameshwaram is a place where a lot of Hindu pilgrims comes. Okay, and so children, what his other friend Arvindam, what business he was doing? He was in the transport business, and he used to arrange transport for the pilgrim who wanted to visit the city. And Shiv Prakashan became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. Now children, his other friend Shiv Prakashan, when he grew up, he started doing catering business, okay, in a train. So now all his friends were set up. Ramanatha Shastri, he became the priest of Rameshwaram temple, and his Arvindam, he had done the business of arranging transport for the pilgrims to see the places in Rameshwaram. And Shiv Prakashan became the catering contractor of the Southern Railways. Catering, children, when we provide food. Okay. Now I'm in the we are doing this one is paragraph 5. During the annual Sri Sita Ram Kalyanam ceremony. Now children, this is purely a Hindu religious activity. Okay, a ceremony used to be celebrated by all Hindu people in Rameshwaram. So during the annual Shri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site. Now children, what his father used to do? Our family used to arrange boats. Now children, used to arrange boats. His father arranged boats for the Hindu people with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple. Now children, in that boat, idol of Lord Rama used to be carried. So his father used to arrange boat to carry that idol of Rama from the carrying idol of the Lord Rama from the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond called Rama Tirtha. And that idol used to be carried to Rama Tirtha. It was a pond, okay, that name of the pond was Rama Tirtha, which was near our house. And that Rama Tirtha was near their house only. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the prophets were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. Now children, not only that, children, his father never used to believe that they are Muslim, they are Hindu, okay, and the same blood came in their children also. And the mother and the grandmother would tell the story of Ramayana, okay, and the life of Prophet Muhammad to their children. So children, it was also a great thing that a Muslim lady is telling about the story of Ramayana to their children. This was the main reason, children, that there was a friendship, a strong bond was between all his three Brahmins friends. They were very much close with each other. They shared all the experience, okay, and everything with them. Now, paragraph 6. One day, when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. Now children, now he is telling something about his school life, and what is that? He is telling that the name of the school, you can, it is written here, children, when he was in class 5, and what was the name of the school? Rameshwaram Elementary School. What happened? A new teacher came to our class, and children, I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim. Now children, we all know that Muslim people, they put a cap, a white color cap, which marks them as Muslim. That means which mark them as a Muslim means, children, whenever you will look at the people who is putting white cap, you will immediately come to know that they are Muslim. So children, that cap was a mark, cap was a symbol that he was a Muslim child. So when teacher entered in the class, he was sitting, Ramanand and this APJ Abdul Kalam was sitting with his Hindu friend, and he was sitting next to Ramananda Shastri, who wore the sacred thread. Sacred thread is Janeu, children, that Brahmin people, they put Janeu. Okay, so that sacred thread was Janeu, which was, and who was putting that Janeu? Ramanand Shastri, and he was sitting beside Ramanand Shastri. And then he came to, when the teacher saw this, he did not tolerate that a Muslim child is sitting beside a Hindu child who is putting Janeu. Janeu means it represents that he was from the Brahmin family. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy, so he could not tolerate that he is the son of a priest, Hindu priest, and he is sitting with the Muslim family boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, now children, according to the social ranking, Brahmins always come first. So he thought he could not tolerate this. He could not tolerate this Brahmin, this Muslim boy is sitting near the Hindu Brahmin boy. And in accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. Now, according to the social ranking, what he had done, he had sent APJ Abdul Kalam to take the back seat. He told him to go at the last seat and sit there. So, this was the order of social ranking at that time. I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramanatha Shastri. Now, children, um, both were best friends. A bond was between APJ Abdul Kalam and Ramanatha Shastri. Ramanatha Shastri never thought that he is a son of the east of Rameshwaram temple, one of the greatest temple of that city. Okay, even he looked utterly downcast. That means even he became sad. Okay, and he could not. APJ Abdul Kalam, he could not resist his teacher. He shifted back seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. Now, children, when APJ Abdul Kalam was going to the last seat, his friend Ramanatha Shastri started crying. He could not tolerate that he should, just because of him, his friend should send to the back seat. So he was not able to tolerate this, and he started crying. This strengthened their friendship. Their faith in them, both of them, increased a lot due to this incident. Now, children, I am in paragraph 7. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Now, children, he went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher. Now, children, both of them went to their house, and both of them must have told this incident to their respective parents. APJ Abdul Kalam father was a good person. He did not want to interfere what the teacher had tell, but children, Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher. He could not tolerate all this thing. He called the teacher. He told him, and in our presence and in the front of the children, he started telling him, told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. Very straightforward, he told that you have not done a right thing. You should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly children means frankly, he bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. He told the teacher that either you apologize to the children or you quit the island, go from this place forever. So not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction is faith Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimate reforming this young teacher. Okay, so children, not only the teacher regretted about this incident, in fact, even he was improved by the wording of Lakshmana Shastri. He also felt that he had done a wrong thing by sowing the seed of communal intolerance and social inequality. Paragraph 8. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms, okay, of the segregation of different social groups. Segregation is separation. Rigid is not flexible. Okay. So children, on the whole, the small society in Rameshwaram, many peoples are not there. But whoever were living at that time, they don't believe all this communal intolerance and social injustice. They used to feel that everybody is a human being and everybody is one. No such thing like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, no such thing should be there. They could tolerate in their society, in their social groups. However, my science teacher, Shiv Subramaniam Iyer, though an orthodox Brahman with a very conservative vibe. Now children, Kalam has told about another incident, and children, this incident was that one of his science teacher, he again was from a very typical Brahman family. Okay, and what was the name of this teacher? His teacher name was Kalam. His teacher name was Shiv Subramaniam Iyer. So he was also from an Orthodox Brahmin family with a very conservative wife. So he was having a very conservative wife. Okay, she was favoring all those communal intolerance and social inequality. Now this Brahmin teacher, science teacher, did not like. He wanted to change, okay, the society. He was against all this idea of casteism and communal intolerance. So, but before changing, he thought that first he should change the mentality of his house, then he could change the society. So, children, he did his best to break social barrier so that people from varying background could mingle easily. Now, children, his motto was to change the social barrier of casteism, okay, and he wanted that people should mingle easily. He used to spread hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big city. Okay, so he is telling, he wanted Kalam that he should change the society, change the educated people, the mentality of the people, and he wanted you should sit with the highly educated people of the big cities. Now, children, his science teacher was, he loved APJ Abdul Kalam, and he had a lot of expectations from him. He told him also that Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par. On par means equal with the highly educated people of the big city. He told me, I don't know why I'm having this feeling that you are having a lot of capability, lot of tolerance. So he's telling, I want that you should develop, okay, I want that you should develop the par with the highly educated people of the big cities. Now, children, one day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. Now, children, and he wanted to change the society also. So for that, he wanted to change the mentality of the people first in his house. So he invited Abdul Kalam to his house for a lunch. And children, his wife, she was purely, what to say, she was purely belonging from the pure ritually Brahmin family, and she did not want that anybody should be invited to dine with her ritually pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Shiv Subra, she told that she will not let him sit in her kitchen and she will not serve that boy because he is simply from the Muslim family. Shiv Subramaniam Iyer was not perturbed. Now he was not, children, perplexed. Perturbed is perplexed. Okay, nor did he get angry with his wife. Now, children, he knew that his wife will be disturbed and he will be going to do something which is against the society and the mentality of the people. He would have to face all these things. So he did not tell anything to his wife, but instead he called the boy, he invited him to his kitchen, he told him to sit with him, and he served the food with his own hand and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched all this thing from behind the kitchen door. So she was looking all this thing from behind the kitchen door. I wonder whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the food after the meal. Now, children, the same thing he had also done. He started eating in the same way like the other people eat. He started drinking the water in the same way like the other people used to drink. And he had cleaned the floor in the same way like after the meal when the other people used to do. When I was leaving his house, Shiv Subramaniam Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Now, children, when he was leaving the house, Shiv Subramaniam, he told that again you have to come to my house in the next weekend to have a dinner this time. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset. Now, children, APJ Abdul Kalam, the moment he entered his kitchen, his house, he came to know about the mentality of his wife. and was hesitating. He did not want to come again, so that a fight should not be there between husband and wife. Okay, so he started hesitating, but Subramaniam teacher, Subramaniam, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. He told, see, I want to change the system and such problem will have to be there. So you don't have to worry. You have to, don't have to look at all this thing. When I visited his house the next week, Subramaniam, Iyer's wife, took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hand. Now children, a drastic change he had seen. Okay, when he had visited the kitchen, what did he see? He had seen this time, children, the whole mentality of his wife was changed. She had called him inside the kitchen, and she himself had, children, served the food with her own hand. So children, he had changed the mentality. He had changed the mentality of his wife also. Such great person, children, came in the life of APJ Abdul Kalam, and he had learned many things from that man. Okay, so if you want to change the society, first you have to change the mentality of your house. Then only you can see others also. Then the Second World War was over and India freedom was eminent. Eminent means certain. And now children, the Second World War was over, and children, with the Second World War, the freedom for India was also certain. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. And children, Abdul Kalam had listened this thing also. He was very happy when he heard the wording of Gandhiji that Indians will build their own India. Till now, children, we were the puppets in the hands of the British people. They were ruling over us. They were powering up over us. So now, when he heard the wordings of Gandhiji that Indians will build their own India, he was very happy. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. Children, unprecedented is never before, and optimism means full of hope. Okay, so the whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. That means before, children, the whole country was filled with an never before. He had heard this full of optimism was never seen before in India. Even Kalam was happy when he heard the great words of Mahatma Gandhi that Indians will build their own home, their own India. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. Now children, it was a time that Kalam have to go outside for his further studies, and even all his teachers also wanted him to do that along with his father. So now children, now his school was over. He had to go for his higher education or somewhere else, because children, higher education facility was not there at that time in Rameshwaram where he was living. So he had asked the permission from his father to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. Now, children, his father, he was really a great father. He knew that when the mother will hear this, she will really feel very sad. No mother want to part with their children, and so this happened with the Kalam mother also. So he told me as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Now children, he want to make mother also. He had given permission to him, but at the same time he wanted that the mother should not feel sad. Indirectly, he told his mother, he told me as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. He told, definitely you have to go away, you have to leave us away, because you have to grow, you have to rise in your life. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? Now children, these are one of the greatest words in this whole chapter. He is telling, doesn't the seabird, okay, after when they are child, they are fed by mother, they don't know about flying, but the moment they fly, the parents also want that they should be totally dependent on themselves. So he told, doesn't seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? That means as the seagull has become, for getting independent, even the seagull has to go away from their parents, okay, away from their nest, and there should be no nest, and he had to travel alone. He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. The mother was feeling sad when she came to listen this thing, and then children he quoted the word of Khalil Gibran to his mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life longings for itself. So he told children that your children are not your children. They have their own life to lead. They come through you, but not from you. They come through you, but they did not. They are not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts. Let them think. Let them enjoy their life. Let them be independent. You can give love, but not their thought. For they have their own thought, and now is the time that they have to live with their own thought. They have to be independent. With this word, children, with this beautiful line, children, okay, the father indirectly convinced her mother that we will let Kalam to go for his further studies. And with this, I end my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.